What is up, guys? 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗞𝗦 here, back with another episode. Thanks so much for watching. In this video, we're going to show you the 7 potential second-round stimulus packages that are in and on the table right now that they're going to be talking about after Memorial Day weekend. So make sure you stay tuned till the end to check them all out. There's a new one that could bank you up to $10,000 a month. Stay tuned.
Let's go. I've been on a minute. Lord, show me forgiveness. Just been trying to win it. For me and my little ones. Gotta get it, ooh. Gotta get it, yeah. Gotta get it, ooh. Gotta get it, yeah. I'm working to finish all that I started. My destiny's living the way I've wanted. Gotta get it, ooh. Gotta get it, yeah. Gotta get it, ooh.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Thanks so much for joining the channel again. If you haven't done so up until this point, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, click the bell notification, and at the end of this video, if you do find it valuable and you maybe you appreciate the information that we are looking at and diving into, demolish that like button. All those things will help boost the algorithm to get this video out to more people. We're going to go ahead and check out these 7 stimulus packages that are on the table right now. We've covered a lot of them in prior videos, but there's the 7th one that I do want to talk about close to the end of this video that looks like a big one that Kamala Harris just actually proposed that could afford you up to $10,000 per month. That's a lot of money. That's more money than most people make in America right now. So we're going to go ahead and dive one. Let me know in the comments which one that you are going for and you are, crossing your fingers and hope that will pass. We don't know if any of these are really going to pass. There's a lot of details that the other side of the political party, the Republicans, don't necessarily agree with. So there's a big divide right there between the Dems and the Republicans. Whatever you are, I'm trying to keep this bipartisan as possible. I know what I believe. Hope you know what you believe. But let's go ahead and dive into this real quick. First one is called the Emergency Money for the People Act, and that basically is proposing $2,000 per month to individuals, up to $4,000 per month per couple, and there are some restrictions there, and you'll also get $500 per kid as a dependent, up to I believe it's 3 kids. Up to 3 dependents, 3 dependent limit right there. But still, that's a good chunk of change, and we're just going to be covering really the economic payment that we're going to be getting, that the American people are going to be looking for. There's a lot more to these plans with mortgages and emergency pay and debt relief and all that different stuff. We're not going to necessarily focus on that right now. We're just going to cover just what people are so anxious about, is the money. Show me the money. Let me know in the comments if you got your first stimulus check, let alone the second stimulus check. A lot of people haven't even got that yet. In my video before this, I showed you 2 ways that you can check on the status of your stimulus check if you haven't gotten it yet. So make sure you go watch that video. The second stimulus is Getting America Back to Work Act. Now, this particular proposal, the idea here is to provide a refundable payroll tax rebate that covers up to 80% of employers' payroll cost. Now, it doesn't necessarily afford you a check in your pocket, but it does cover more taxes on your payroll. So you'll get you'll get a payroll deduction. So you won't have to pay taxes out of your pocket, which means your paycheck will be higher. Now, this really only affects people that are working, but there's millions of people that aren't working right now or got laid off. So this is kind of, probably in my opinion, dead on arrival. Number 3 is the Rent and Mortgage Cancellation Act. Again, this is a fairly straightforward one, but they're proposing to cancel rent or mortgage up to a year. Again, this only affects those that are renting or own a house. And even though probably everybody rents, there's some unfair advantages to the people that rent a $15,000 a month apartment in Manhattan versus somebody that rents a $1,000 a month apartment in backcountry of Alabama. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's a little bit of unfair advantages for the rich in this particular proposal. So I'm not sure if this is even something that they're going to consider. Although I wouldn't mind my rent being postponed and canceled for the next year. I know a couple people that own houses that pay one single mortgage, probably no more than $2,500, but that they would be able to benefit from that. So, I mean, I'm in favor for this. Again, there's unfair advantages for the rich, because imagine if you have a mansion, you're paying $20,000 a month or more, which is something that people do, and you don't have to pay for that. I mean, it's kind of like you get to save $20,000 a month when these guys are, starving. So I'm not really sure about that. We got number 4, Senator Sherrod Brown's call for quarterly direct stimulus payments. This talks about $2,000 per individual every quarter. So that's every 3 months. Which calls for an initial payment of $2,000 and potential second payment of $1,500, and if needed, quarterly payouts of $1,000 per person per quarter as well. So there's some weird things in this bill. A lot of people were skeptical about this. It's not as bad per se as $2,000 per month. They're talking $2,000 per quarter. So if you break that up, there's smaller chunks, smaller payments. But again, people are going to have to wait 3 months until the next payment. So it's a sticky situation right now with everybody that doesn't, that they're not working. They're slowly opening up, companies again and restaurants, and life is slowly going back to where I don't know if we'll ever get back to normal or back to where we were. I really hope we do, because I was okay with that normal, even though, it's always good to be progressive and move forward. Don't get me wrong. Number 5, we're going to talk about the HEROES Act. The HEROES Act is a 1,815-page health and economic recovery omnibus emergency solution act, and it's just 1,800 pages. Who in their right mind is going to read 1,800 pages? Well, Meet Kevin is another YouTuber. Supposedly, he read through the entire document. There's a couple other guys that I follow on YouTube. Supposedly, they read through it, and maybe they did. Maybe they had 4 or 5 hours to kill going through it. I couldn't do it. Maybe you can't do it. Maybe you can do it. And if you did read through the entire 1,800 pages, drop a link down below. Let me know what your thoughts were. I mean, I've opened up the document and browsed. I've searched for keywords. I've jumped to certain sections, but I did not read through all the fine print. But this one is calling for, this is a $3 trillion bill, and it's going to provide $1 trillion to states, $200 billion to provide hazard pay to essential workers, and also going to extend unemployment, which I think is a good thing. For those who need unemployment, to extend it until January 2021, I think is a good thing. Or in this case, let's see, it was supposed to end in July, and it would be covered until the beginning of January 2020. That's right. And it also provide a $1,200 check up to $6,000 per household. That's up to 3 or 4 kids, $6,000. So, I mean, I'm all for, a little bit of extra money just to help with the, the business that is kind of taking a downturn. But again, there's a lot of things in these 1,815 pages that the Democrats and the Republicans just completely butt heads with, do not agree with whatsoever. There's a lot of fishy stuff in this bill as well. And I'm all for, I don't even know if I want to get into this right now. There's a part in this bill that talks about giving $1,200 payments to undocumented illegals. Now, I have a lot of family members and friends that I know, even friends of family members that are illegal and came in here undocumented, and fine, I love them to death, and I wouldn't change anything in the world, but I think there needs to be certain things set in place so that other people don't just start rushing into the United States knowing that they're going to get this free money. So it's a very touchy situation, and maybe something we can cover in another video. But it's just, there's a lot of things like that, a lot of hidden agendas in the HEROES Act that I don't necessarily agree with. Maybe you may agree with. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. And there's some more things in this one, like dependents of all ages, not just those 16 and under, would qualify their parents or household for an extra $1,200. So this is $1,200 per dependent, which equates to a good amount of money. So if you have your wife and your husband and you have 3 kids, you all get the $1,200 checks, which is up to $6,000 per household. And here we got number 6, the Automatic Boost to Communities Act. Another proposal making its round in Washington is the Automatic Boost to Communities Act, the ABC Act, which was introduced by 𝗦𝗣𝗘𝗖𝗜𝗓𝗏 and 𝗦𝗣𝗚 𝗟𝗑𝗠𝗡. Under the ABC Act, individuals will receive $2,000 monthly during a defined payment period lasting up to a year. So this is that $2,000 a month payment that they're talking about. And it would also, there's a clause in here that would afford even undocumented aliens to receive the money as well. You have to at least be in the country for 3 months consecutively, but you'll be eligible for a payout. Non-resident aliens eligible is what really stands out. So this ABC Act is making waves because it affords and allots payments to undocumented aliens that have come into our country. We're not going to get into that in this video. I think there needs to be some things set in line, or else we're going to get ambushed from everybody and anybody that is outside of our country. They're going to want to come in here because they know they can get free money. So I think there needs to be a little bit more clarity there and some more guidelines set in place. But that's neither here nor there. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments about this particular one, whether you agree or disagree with giving stimulus payment to undocumented aliens. People who have come into the country undocumented, kind of under the radar. Yeah, we're going to leave that right there. Number 7, last one I wanted to talk about is the Monthly Economic Crisis Support Act. Finally, the Monthly Economic Crisis Support Act, introduced by Senator Kamala Harris and Bernie Sanders and Ed Markey, aims to provide eligible individuals with up to $2,000 per month or $4,000 per month per couple jointly. Similar to the ABC Act, it would allow, with the addition of $2,000 to what a parent or household receives on a monthly basis per qualified dependent, up to a limited of 3 dependents. Under this scenario, a married couple with 3 children would receive up to $10,000 a month. If you're married and you have 3 kids, you could be getting $10,000 a month. That's over $100,000 a year if we were to have that 12 months consecutively. That's a lot of money. That's more money than the average American makes right now. This worries me a little bit. Oh, I would love to get this extra $10,000 a month. Don't get me wrong. But this worries me a little bit because if people get this type of money, number one, people that are not used to this type of money may freak out and do things that are, they'll probably stimulate the economy, but they'll probably get hurt in the end because they'll make unwise decisions with that money. Maybe a lot of people will save and stash the money and do this and do that, maybe invest, which would be me. I'd invest in some type of, savings, bonds, stocks. I'd get into investments a little more. Maybe look at some properties to purchase. Wouldn't go necessarily buying, the latest Jordans, the 60-inch TVs and games and all this stuff. I mean, I would try to be as wise as possible. I have a large family. We would make sure all our debt is paid, all our rent is up to date, our car payments are paid and all that stuff. Then we'd put some away in savings. We'd give some to our church, and we'd do some responsible things with it and do a little bit of investing. I think if the average person, maybe low income, middle to low income people, get $10,000 a month, it could cause more harm than good in their lives, because when you're not used to that type of money, you don't know how to manage that type of money. It could go like water. It could go so fast. It could be spent on all of the wrong things. I used to work for Apple, and they taught us at looking at individuals with positive intent. No matter who walked through the building, look at them with positive intent. No matter if it was the thuggiest, hoodiest looking person, like they were going to steal the iPads right off the table. Look at them with positive intent. Imagine that they are here to be a positive contributor to the community. So it was a good lesson that we learned. And although I want to have positive intent in thinking about the stimulus package of $10,000 per month for families of up to 4 kids, I'm having a hard time with that, because it's like when somebody wins the lotto, they end up becoming more in debt after spending all that money on frivolous things than if they were to just stay consistently at the level they were before they made all that money. So there's just a weird dynamic there. Money is not evil, but money can emphasize the evil within you. Not to get into a whole philosophical conversation right now. Money's not evil. The love of money is evil. The greed that takes place in a man's heart. Money is a magnifier. Money magnifies what's already inside of you. So if there's these things inside of you that when you're poor you go through, and now all of a sudden you're making 10 grand a month, it's going to erupt and you could end up getting yourself in a worse position. Now, on the other side, a lot of people could do a lot of good with that money as well. So we'll see what happens. This is the latest stimulus package, the Monthly Economic Crisis Support Act by Kamala Harris and the crew. Let me know in the comments. I want to hear your dialogue. Let me know what's going on in your life. Let me know if you've gotten your first stimulus, let alone this second one that we're talking about. Please go ahead and smash that like button right now. If you appreciated the content in this video, it definitely helps. It does so much to the YouTube algorithm. And make sure you go ahead and subscribe. Click that little bell button so you never miss a video. And we're at 11,000 subscribers. I really appreciate all of you guys supporting this channel. If you're not a supporter yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Until the next video, stay fresh, stay funky, stay adventurous, stay healthy. We'll see you in the next one. Peace. We'll be right back.